welcome to GK Trick India. Now we are going to discuss about the topic DNA fingerprinting. What is the DNA fingerprinting? So DNA fingerprinting is also called as a DNA profiling. It is used for many criminal and legal cases to determine the identity or the parentage. We wanted to determine who is the parents, what is the blood relations between those two individuals, unknown individuals. We can use the DNA fingerprinting technology. DNA can be extracted from the relatively very small amount of biological evidence, such as a drop of blood or even a single hair fossil is enough to do the DNA fingerprinting. A famous British genetician, Dr. Jeffrey Ross, had developed the DNA fingerprinting technology in 1984. In this technique, DNA fingerprints appears as a pattern of bands on the X-ray film. Except two identical twins, no two humans have the same DNA or the DNA fingerprints. It varies between the individuals. That only 0.001% of DNA decides who is differ from another person. So that 0.001% is used for this DNA fingerprinting. However, those small variable regions are enough for the scientists to generate the DNA profile of the individual using the DNA extracted from the blood, bone, hair, or anything. Any small body tissue is enough for doing this DNA fingerprinting. So DNA fingerprinting, how we determine the final result should be in this way. We are seeing the pattern. So patterns differs for the individual. Each strips will differ for the individuals. This shows a different result for each person. Once on some human chromosomes, a short sequence of DNA has been repeated at the number of times. We are seeing this number of times. So these repeated numbers may be varying from one human to another human. So 1 to 30 times these repeated differs. Okay, these repeats are usually bounded by the specific restriction enzyme sites. Cut out the segment of chromosome containing this variable number of tandem repeats. So this is termed by the name called variable number of tandem repeats. Identify the variable number of tandem repeats for the DNA sequence of the repeat. So we are using this variable number of tandem repeats for the pattern. So now we are seeing a forensic example. So this pattern actually AGCDA was normally mean as a chromosomal adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine. So these patterns were being repeated for the individual humans. So it is a blood at the crime scene. We seen that this pattern was getting repeated in the suspect of 2 and 4. So the suspect 2 and 4 could be the culprit. Comparing to suspect 1 and 3, we seeing this pattern was very different for these two persons. So from the blood scene, we can able to identify by this pattern of using. Okay. So within the non-coding sections of DNA, certain short sequence of DNA are repeated for the multiple times. We are seeing an example. So number of copies of the same repeated base sequence in the DNA vary among these individuals. For example, if the repeated base sequence is, so we are seeing this example CA, GAC, there might be the 3 copies of this in the DNA of one individual, while in another individual it may have the 7 copies. Okay, so this differs. For the individual, this shows the length of the variable number of tandem repeats can be vary from 90 to 80 bases. Because the number of repeats varies from one person to another person, these multiple tandem repeats are also known as the variable number of tandem repeats. That's it. So what are the basic steps involving in the DNA fingerprinting? What we have to do is first extraction. DNA is extracted from the cells, and by using the restriction fragments in some variable number of tandem repeats analysis, DNA is cut by the restriction enzymes. We are using the restriction enzymes. These restriction enzymes recognize a unique pattern of DNA bases and will cut the DNA at the specific location. So these DNA fragments of varying length are formed when the DNA is cut. Next step is you have to amplify. So you have to make it as a bigger size to seen by your own eyes. In the case of other variable number of tandem repeats analysis, so specifically chosen DNA fragments are amplified using the polymerase chain reaction. So what reaction we are actually adapting is polymerase chain reaction. So we are going through this process. Next, a final important step is electrophoresis. DNA is loaded into the well. So we are seeing this example. So DNA is loaded into the well. So we have given the two electrodes, one at the negative, one is connected to the negative side and the another one is positive charge. So when this current is passed through it, what happened? So is through the gel of negative electrons, DNA fragments migrate towards the positive end of the gel. So DNA fragments are separated by the size, because the smallest DNA fragments can be able to move faster through the gel. The correct accurate pieces of the largest sample get accumulate here. We are seeing this. So small pieces can move faster towards a gel and the big pieces, which is a correct pattern, so separate here. So by this we can able to separate the DNA fragments by this process. Once the DNA have been sorted, the pieces of DNA were transferred or bolted out of the fragile gel on the robust piece of nylon membrane. We have to place it in the nylon membrane and then unzip to produce the single strands of DNA. Next, the nylon membrane are incubated with the radioactive probes. What happens when it is undergoing the radioactive probes? The mini satellites that probes has attached to were then visualized by exposing the nylon membranes to the X-ray film. When exposed to radioactivity, the patterns of more than 30 dark bands appeared on the film. Where the labeled DNA was, this pattern was called the DNA fingerprinting. To compare two or more DNA fingerprints, two different samples, we have to take many samples as fast as possible. We have to go through the same electrophoresis gel, and this process repeats again and again until we get the correct and the clear result. So this is the result we show. So what are these white and the black bands? So from the crime scene we are seeing this was matched with suspect 1 having the same tandem number of repeats. So comparing to others, the two suspect 1 is more matched to the crime scene. So this is how DNA fingerprint is actually carried out. So and what are the major concerns of this DNA fingerprinting? Or sample contamination may be happened, faulty preparation procedures and mistaken interpretations of results are the major sources of error in the DNA fingerprinting. So these are the ways the DNA fingerprinting error may be happened. These issues can be caused between the biological proof and legal proof in the court cases. Sometimes it happens to be the error. In the forensics, large amount of high quality DNA are needed, yet forensic DNA samples frequently are degraded or collected post-mortem. So regarding them of lower quality and subject to producing the less reliable results than the sample obtained from the living individuals. When we have to get the samples from the living individuals, we can get the fresh or quality samples. But when it comes to the death cases, it happens maybe 2 to 3 days. So the samples may get very degraded. And by using this, we have very less amount of sample also. With that, we have to do the DNA fingerprinting and prove the guiltiness is very difficult process, and it happens very tedious. So next, what are the major advantages actually in the DNA fingerprinting? Already we said, physically it connects a piece of evidence to the person or rules out the someone as a suspect. So who is your parents, siblings and other relatives may be. Identify the dead body that is too old or damaged to be recognizable. So we have to find out someone maybe at anywhere, found identity was unknown. We have to find who is this. We are using the DNA fingerprinting. DNA fingerprinting is extremely accurate. Most countries now keep DNA records of the file in much on the same way police keep copies of the actual fingerprints. in cases of exchange of babies in the hospital ward, sometimes it happens. So in the forensic wildlife, the arrangement of nucleotides in a unique way to any living form except the identical twins, be animals, plants or microbes, we are using that in a certain way. So DNA fingerprinting, how the DNA fingerprinting is actually in India. So moving forth to the roving issue of privacy of an individual providing through the Article 21. Actually it says right to privacy. But one question was constantly revolve around the application of DNA technology is how we are preserving the fundamental rights. It gives a right of privacy of the individual and degree of absoluteness if there exists one. So if the right to privacy is actually withstood by using the DNA fingerprinting is actually the question arises out of Article 21. But we have the no choices to do the criminal cases and we have to find the suspects. We are going for this DNA fingerprinting. What's any laws in India regarding the DNA fingerprinting? Absolutely there is. In July 2017, the Law Commission of India drafted a bill for the use and the regulation of DNA based technology called the Human DNA Profiling Bill. Notice Human DNA Profiling Bill, as there are currently no legal mechanisms for identifying missing persons and the victims of the disaster. The new bill seeks to regulate the human DNA profiling and establish standard procedures for DNA testing. It happens in July 2017. So there is a now important laws for the DNA fingerprinting. Other than that, there is no procedure. So these bills maybe get passed in the parliament. We can now see we can regulate the DNA fingerprinting. So that's all today. Thank you, friends.